But if it doesn't go live, no worries. I'll upload it. I'll like do the shit tonight and get it posted like before I go to work tomorrow. It'll be up.
Yeah.
FYI. Okay, well, hey. Welcome to a special live edition of Black Behind the Chair. It is Wednesday. Your mind's not playing tricks on you. It's Wednesday. We know you're not used to seeing us on Wednesday, but that's not desperate times. I don't want to say that. Special times call for special measures. So, if you're new, you are listening to Black Behind the Chair. We are two Black hairstylists who work on all textures of hair. In cosmetology school, we're taught not to talk about religion, politics, sex, and salaries. But this is what happens when Blackness meets the beauty industry. Please subscribe to our channel. We love respectful discourse. Just please be respectful. Leave a comment, like this video. It's a free way to support our growth. But wait, there's more. We are not necessarily a show about politics. However, as Black women, our existence is often politicized. As a result, we often find ourselves either having political discourse or avoiding it behind the chair. Now, we're having a special episode because it's a special day. It is literally the day after the election. Before we dive in, I forgot to say who we are. I'm T Dizzle.
I'm M-Pad.
I'm Key.
And we're joined by our special guest, Key. Key is a licensed apprentice here in the state of Georgia, and obviously my clone. So, before we jump into the heavy topics of the day, if you ladies would just give me one word to describe your hair today.
Clean.
I'll go first. What'd you say, Raya? Clean?
Clean.
Yes, I love that feeling when your scalp can breathe. I'm going to say tight still, because these braids are a week old yesterday, and the back of my neck still is loosening up a little bit, but tight.
Ooh.
Where you at, Key?
I'm going to say dry, because yesterday was wash day, but I'm still in distress, so I have not washed my hair. It's definitely giving dry.
I feel that. So I thank you, M-Pad, for always being about it. It's St. Louis, so I'm not surprised because St. Louis, Missouri is the show me state. So yeah, thank you for jumping on. My daughter and I were just kind of decompressing because I went to work today. She stayed home and took a depression nap. Did you go to work? Did you work today?
I did.
M-Pad? You did. How was your day?
It wasn't bad, right? Because all my guests were chill and cool, but you could just tell because I do work with predominantly women, and pretty much I want to say 98% of people that I work with do not support Trump. So we it was a little rough today.
Yeah. So Key, I'm about to tell your business, girl. So she and I went because for those that have been following the podcast for a while, or if you heard the interview that I did with Raya or M-Pad on therapy sessions with Auntie Hair Coach, that was our first interaction. And then I just enjoyed our interaction so much that I just kept wanting to talk to you. But for those who have been following for a while, you know that M-Pad is very, very involved in politics and has been for years. You've gotten to hear, if you didn't get to hear, go back and listen to that. Key, on the other hand, was a first-time voter this election. So they cheered for her at the voting booth. Yes. Ooh,
They
ooh.
did. They
They
all
cheer.
cheered
And
for
so
me.
when the lady, I had to like slide in with her because she's very, um, quote unquote, typical millennial in that she needs her mom for everything. So she wanted me to go in with her when she went to vote. So I had to
Talk
slide
to
in because they were.
strangers. Absolutely not.
So when the lady said that it was her first time voting, and I was like, well, yeah, she just moved to Georgia. So yeah, it's her first time here. And then the look on both of their faces made me understand that no, it was her first time voting ever. So I was like, we'll talk about this in the car. And then they escorted me out.
Like a criminal. Literally.
So last night we sat up pretty late drinking tequila, like we had already resigned ourselves to going into work with a hangover. I woke up at 3 a.m. She woke up like, as a first time voter, just I guess describe like, how are you feeling today? What are your thoughts behind the last, however long? What are you thinking about today? How did you
Um,
spend your day? How did you find out all of that?
so let me just explain why it is my first time voting, honestly, because the first time that I was eligible to vote would have been the election. I think it was the election after. I think it was Barack Obama's second term. Would have been my first time being able to vote, because the first time he was elected, I turned 18 right like 2 weeks after the election, right? So, um, so yeah, I like after Barack was in office, like I just I don't know, like it's just not something that they really talk to young people about. Like there's never been a candidate where they're talking to young people. It's always, it's not directed towards us. So there's never been a candidate that's ever caught my eye on my specific wants and needs ever. I think the first time I got really excited about voting was when Bernie was running, and then he didn't run because they kind of like, you're old and are about to have dementia,
Came
so they didn't
out.
let him run. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then after that, I was just like, yeah, no, this is a bunch of bull crap. So yeah, I just haven't really had someone that I feel like is your
Like
husband
that you'd
kicked
be
me out.
enthusiastic about.
Your husband's kicking
Oh,
me
he's
out your
kicking you
room.
out. That's funny. That's okay.
Hang on.
Now you can go downstairs.
1 second.
Well, Raya, while she's getting resituated, tell us your initial thoughts. What are you thinking, feeling?
Yeah, so I was not surprised by the results.
Yeah.
It is very disappointing. Absolutely. But yeah, I wasn't surprised. Um I think if anyone who knows me and who's been listening, um we kind of called it like months ago, right? Like it was just kind of too late for me personally,
Mhm.
cuz
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
I voted Jill Stein.
Yeah.
And so uh, yeah, like the Democrats did not convince me. And if they couldn't convince me, I was like, I know there's plenty of other people that they're not convincing. And I mean, with your daughter saying, like, the Democrats had every opportunity. Like, they saw how everyone reacted to Bernie. And the reason why Bernie wasn't the Democrat nominee was because they fucked him over. Like,
Yeah.
the DNC completely ruined Bernie's campaign.
Yeah.
So, like, and they pushed Hillary. Like they pushed her when the whole world, like Bernie was beating both her and Trump in the polls. And they were like, nope,
Yeah, Hillary was
Hillary.
like third. Hillary was like third, and there was
Yeah.
somebody in between
Yes.
them whose name we don't even remember. But Hillary was third, and that pissed me
Mm-hmm.
off. And
Yeah.
I wasn't even a huge Bernie fan because that was the election that I was like, give me anybody other than an old white man and I will vote for them. But I'm
Yeah.
sick of looking at old white men. I didn't give a fuck that the old white man was Bernie. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I was very enthusiastic about Bernie. I also felt the same, like, two old white men, but I would have definitely rather had Bernie. And then, yeah, once Bernie dropped out, like Jill Stein was the one that I was like, she aligns more with how I think we should do things, so she's gonna get my vote.
And that's literally
And
the point of an election.
yeah, absolutely. And of course, like even back then, I got a lot of hate. You know, people were like, "You're the reason why Trump won," and blah blah blah.
And
And
you know what's
no,
crazy is, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but a side
yeah,
note here is that one of the reasons that Hillary didn't win is because of what she demonstrated then with pushing Bernie out and what white women demonstrated again yesterday when 6 out of 10 of them bitches went in the damn voting booth and still voted for Trump. Like you haven't been boohooing all over the damn internet about how you were voting for your daughters. And
one
that's why
hundred
people
percent.
didn't press fucking Hillary's ass because we don't even know if we can trust you hoes.
Mhm.
Because the first chance you get to fucking uphold white supremacy, you suck it but by the round
Don't you
cylindrical
say it.
object children play with.
Every time.
Well, and I should
Yep.
keep children out of it because now we'll talk next week about whether or not we think Trump will pardon Diddy. That'll be another topic.
Oh my
Okay, but staying
god.
here, I have more
Jeez.
questions. Okay. Let me see. I think well, you were in the middle of saying something when you had to relocate. Do you
Me?
remember what thought you were having?
Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was just talking about like why I never voted honestly. But what changed my mind this election was more so because I live with my mom and she is not going to play that. So I had to make a decision, but I did do my own research and made a decision for myself. And I just felt like because I agree, like Jill definitely has better views in my opinion, but I feel like she's not going to win. And I don't want Trump in office, so I feel like it was my like responsibility to vote one or the other. Um so yeah, my feelings are hurt because I really thought she had a chance, and it just makes me sad. It makes me sad, honestly, just because, like, as far as people think that we've come from, like 100 years ago, not even that long ago, but as far as people think that we've come, we really haven't. We've actually gone backwards in a lot of ways, and it shows so much during elections. Like, it's just crazy how blatantly they are with their ways, and they don't care, especially when Trump is in office. Like they just have the utmost audacity, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm feeling like literally I had so much to do today. um I didn't really get nothing done. I slept, I took a freaking depression nap, and I washed the dishes, and I put some of Alexis's services on it. That's all I did. And then I just sat there and looked at Twitter and felt sorry for all of America. That was it. That's all I got done. But yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like honestly, getting anything done today was a win
Yeah.
because what the fuck? You know
It's
what I'm saying?
crazy.
I also want
Um,
to say something real quick too.
mhm.
With the third party voters as well. I was looking at the numbers earlier. Even if every person that voted for a third party candidate voted for Kamala, she still would have lost.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
So,
Literally, like
yeah.
looking at social media and looking at people's views. Like, I literally got into a debate with this guy. He literally wasn't talking about anything, but he just didn't vote at all, but is on here going back and forth about your political views. If you had a view or a standpoint, then go vote. Don't argue with me on a post. But it just brings me back to it, like, a lot of people around my age group or our age group, me and M-Pad, like they just didn't vote. And they were just like, I'm not voting. And
Mm-hmm.
I will take that over voting for Trump any day, but I feel like there's a like it just didn't sway. Like Kamala had a real chance to sway our age group and she didn't. And she thought that using artists that we're familiar with, like that's gonna be like, oh, we're gonna vote for her because you had Megan Thee Stallion at your rally. Like, no, what are you gonna do for us? Like, that's what matters, and
Yeah.
that's what, especially Black men weren't voting for her because they felt like she like last minute was trying to get their votes. It didn't seem like genuine. It didn't seem sincere. So I can see why she didn't win, and hopefully, if she runs again, she does a better job because
Mm.
I don't know.
Okay, so I have a question, and maybe, well, I'm not even going to put any maybe anything. If she, do you guys think that she should run again, A? And B, if she ran again, would you vote for her?
I feel
Or
like
is there anything that she could say that would make you vote for her?
I feel like she could not run again, honestly, because the only reason why she got so many votes this election is because she was running against Trump. If she wasn't running against
Mm.
Trump, she really probably wouldn't have had a chance, honestly, because there's a lot of things that she does where it's just like, what the fuck? But it's like,
Yeah.
her Trump, it's like picking the lesser of two evils, which is like that every single time. But I genuinely feel like there are better candidates out there, truly.
Yeah. What do you think,
Yeah,
Mariah?
I'm kind of like, I want to believe in people and hope that, like, maybe she can take this L and, like, be like, hey, we kind of dropped the ball here. And I
Yeah.
just want to say, too, like, I don't know why people, like, didn't draw the line at genocide personally.
It's
That
crazy.
like that, and I'm not blaming anyone for still voting for her, right? Like,
Sure.
that is not what I'm trying to say, but, like, for me personally, I kind
Yeah.
of drew the line at genocide. For me, I was
Yeah.
like, I don't
Yeah.
know if I can really, like, support a
Yeah.
candidate. And
Yeah.
I already had someone that was like, America has always been in bed with Israel for a long time, and I'm aware of
We
that
just
as
had that
well.
conversation
Like,
earlier. Yeah.
yeah, like every president that we've had probably has had some
It's a
kind
literal
of deal.
colony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, like,
It's American
I don't want this to
imperialism.
come off. Yeah, I don't want this to come off like I'm punishing strictly her because, like, I'm aware that
Yeah.
all of the presidents have had their hands in with Israel. Like,
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
Um, Me personally, this was the first time that, like, in my 30 years that I've seen a literal, like, genocide like that, because I'm someone who I wasn't turning away from seeing the images and the videos because I was like, I have to see this. Like, this is what's
Yeah.
happening. Like, I can't, it's a privilege, right? To
It
say,
is.
ooh, this is a
It
little
is.
much. I don't want to look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Um, and I feel like I definitely hold myself to a high standard where, like, I've always said, like, Mariah, what would you do if you were alive during, those days? I probably
Yeah.
would have been killed, but I would like to think
That's
that I
Mm.
would stand up, and, like, it's literally happening right now
yeah.
in
Yeah.
front of me.
Yeah.
So, and it just wasn't that for me. Like I said, it just wasn't the genocide. She's gone back on her fracking, which that is a big deal. Like, especially we are in a climate crisis. Like, it's
Yeah.
not even change anymore. It is a crisis. Like,
Yeah.
I want to say
Did
we
you
might
see?
have 3 years to fix this.
Yeah. Did you see that the police, I mean, not the police, them too, but trees in a lot of areas have stopped absorbing carbon dioxide, right? That's trees right? Have
Yeah.
you seen that? Is it carbon? Yeah, it's
No.
carbon dioxide, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
No, I didn't see that. That's crazy. That's
yeah.
crazy.
But
But
you
it doesn't
know,
surprise
I
me.
remember hearing or reading, like growing up, don't you guys remember like going to places and seeing like fruit and stuff grow on trees and like bushes and stuff? You really don't see that anymore unless like you're going like deep, deep, deep into the
Yeah.
woods.
And I think
Um,
that's purposeful.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can't tax stuff that, you know, just grows
You can
naturally.
just
And
pick
then
off the,
I
yeah.
actually, so I meant to look it up. So I don't know if it's like 100% true. I wouldn't be surprised. But it was saying that farmers can't take the seeds from the crops that they grow and like replant it. And if they
That's
do, they
crazy.
get fined.
Wow.
Like these my crops. How you gonna tell me what I can do with like I
Yeah.
literally
So what? So
and how
Literally.
would they
Monsanto is
know?
probably creating the seeds. Holy
Yep.
shit.
That is so like
So
how do
gross.
you even go out it like how do you even think of something like that? Like
Okay,
Mhm.
so look, because I don't even want to go down this wormhole. So let me bring it back because that brings me to another question. So we've just gone over a litany of issues that our government has had 250 years to solve, 248 years to solve. On average, empires last 250 years. So, with that being said, is voting the answer? And if so, what is the question? Like, how do we are we going to be able to vote ourselves out of this? If so, like, how do we get to the point where the majority of people, I feel like we're like, there's so many problems being thrown all at one time because it's too so confusion and like make you exhausted and depressed so that you know what I mean? So you just keep doing the
Mhm.
same shit over and over. So is voting the answer to that? And if so, like, what are we trying to solve with voting?
I mean,
Um,
we've been voting for the last however many years and nothing's changed. So I feel like we got to try something else. Because what did you say earlier? You said that back in the day like we didn't get out of the position that we were in because we were voting. We didn't even have the right to vote. We got out of the position that we were in because we was busting ass, and maybe we should go back to our roots and maybe just start busting a little ass because I feel like they're not.
Yeah.
First of all, they don't see black people as humans as it goes, or even humans with like their own mind and can speak for themselves. Like they don't look at us and be like, oh, they have a genuine opinion and know what they're talking about. Um, so yeah, like when in doubt, right hook. I'm telling you, it'll solve a lot of
I need to
problems.
tell Mariah one thing about Kiera, she gonna punch somebody in the face, okay? You ain't
hey,
even gotta worry about it.
I'm kind of like right there with her.
Like
Um,
it solved a lot of my
no,
issues.
for sure. Well, and honestly, like I agree. I'm also very like, if you want to be about it, let's be about it. Like, you want to come grab this
Pussyfooting
pussy?
around it, right?
All
Come,
right.
come grab
Come
it.
try it. Come try
Come
it.
grab it. Let's see what's gonna happen.
Literally.
Yeah.
Um,
Nah, for real.
but
And if any man who voted Trump in this election and a woman lays down and fucks them, like that has got to be the driest coochie of all time
Let's
because there
just
is
talk about
no
how
fucking,
who did you vote for is literally on the list of first date questions. Like, add that to the
yeah.
list because who did you vote for? Because I need to know whether I'm leaving now or like what's tea.
yeah,
Like,
have fun with your man always throwing off your fucking pH.
exactly. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Uh
Crazy.
yeah, I also kind of agree that like again, I'm not trying to like blame all Democrats, but like honestly, this this Trump presidency, the Democrats have no one to blame but themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, if I could, I would grab every Black woman in America and like put her somewhere safe. And then I would tell everyone else, figure it the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had so many people like the day of election, like message me and be like, oh my God, like, what should I vote for? Or blah, blah, blah. And now I'm just kind of like, fuck you guys. Don't ask me shit next time because Black women,
What? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, like Black women once again showed up and did the damn thing just to be let down like that.
Mm-hmm. And it
And
was, to me, it's like, so taking away the fact that in the past I've said that when you're running for president, you're running for like king or queen of white supremacy and like warmonger and shit. Like, take that away. Let's assume that I like drank the Kool-Aid and I think that this actually means something. Kamala is literally the most qualified person on earth, times like 3. And Donald Trump was not qualified in any way, shape, or form.
No.
So it's just like so blatantly like, it's just disgusting. Those were my 2 words today: disgusted and disappointed. Because
Literally.
now I'm looking at everyone again.
yeah. Well, and I made a 2 post earlier because for those who don't know, I'm biracial. I do have a white mother, and a lot of her side are Trump supporters. I cut a lot of them off like years ago, like when he first ran, because I was just like, I can't, I won't tolerate it. And if that's, I literally told my grandpa, actually, I was like, if he's the hill you're willing to die on, like, I hope you're willing to stand on that alone. And I even asked, I was like, are you willing to stand on that hill for him? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, stand on it.
Wow.
So what did I say? Oh, I said, so to the white women, white men, and anyone else who either supported Trump or choose not to check his followers, how does it feel? How does it feel to have family, friends, or partners who idolized him and to have stayed quiet because you benefited? You saw the Facebook post, you sat through the holiday conversations, heard the racist and homophobic comments, and you kept your mouth shut. I guess those lake house weekends and financial handouts were more important to you than basic human rights. Well, congrats. You're witnessing firsthand how dictators like Hitler rose to power. And by staying silent, you didn't just stand by, you left it to Black women to clean up the mess again. This isn't on Kamala or anyone else. It's on you for looking the other way while people's rights were stripped because it didn't affect you. Scary now, isn't it, to feel isolated like no one's on your side? That's how many of us have felt for years while you told us change takes time. This is your fault. And to Black women, I see you, I thank you, and I love you for all that you do.
Girl, you read that?
Period.
I got goosebumps.
No, for
Yeah,
real.
no, you stay reading the damn people on your page. So,
No, for
I
real.
sure
you think
do.
when they ask the
Well,
business.
so what's funny, I don't know if I told you, so I do like a script reading with this group every once in a while. So a lot of them are very like liberal Democrat, and so they were like going on in the group chat today, and I won't name names, but someone everyone was sharing their feelings and emotions, and someone posted in there, they were like, and I just want to say fuck Jill Stein. And I didn't say anything because I will say, like, I only know like one person in this group that invited me, like
Mhm.
I know of them, but I wouldn't say like we're cool like that. You know what I
You know
mean?
them
Like,
like that, yeah.
yeah. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, they say like fuck Jill Stein, and like a lot of people liked it. And so then later on, the same person was like, also, I'm just kind of like in my villain era. So if any of these people that like voted for Trump or voted third party like come up to me and something's wrong, I'm just going to take a sip of my champagne and look at them and say, and so I I was just kind of like, all right, I'm hearing you loud and clear, girl. So I made a status because
Oh my God.
I'm also like, if you want to say something, let's say it.
Like,
So
I'm in
I
my
said,
petty era, so
yes. So I was like, let me just say this. I'm already seeing blame directed at third party voters, so let me set the record straight. I voted for Jill Stein in both the 2016 and 2024 elections because I've lost faith in the Democratic Party. Did I think Harris was a better choice than Trump? Yes. But do I think she's the best option for this country? No. The Biden administration, of which she is a part of, continued funding for Israel. Harris reversed her positions on issues like fracking and the death penalty. And rather than reaching out to third party candidates to build common ground, the Democrats instead sued to keep the Green Party off the ballot in several states, despite the growing sentiment that the two party system isn't working. It felt like the only argument the Democrats offered was, we can't let Trump win. If that were truly the priority, why didn't they reach out to third party candidates and say, look, we may not agree on every issue, but we all agree that Trump shouldn't win. So let's discuss how we can work together. Why didn't Harris meet with Stein and other candidates to understand their supporters' needs and potentially bring those voters into her camp? Instead, they focused on blocking other candidates. And before anyone says, but she and Biden called for a ceasefire, it was too late by then. By that point, so much was already destroyed. Thousands of innocent women and children were dead, and people had been denied humanitarian aid, and we funded that. And for those who say that Jill Stein's been around since 2012, or if you want change, do the work, people are doing the work. But politics is awash with money, millions, if not billions, in funding. The Green Party, unlike the major parties, is grassroots, typically supported by middle class working people, not wealthy donors. Jill Stein was even arrested at a pro Palestine protest here in Missouri at Wash U. I don't regret my vote. I believe Stein was the better candidate, and I won't support policies that continue to enable a genocide. So if you're going to say fuck you, say it to my face or delete me. I really don't care.
Oh.
period.
Oh.
No, for
All
real.
right. And she said what she said, so we're
And I
not
said what I
even.
said.
That's that. And that's that on that. Okay. So realizing that this is an off day, I have one more question and then I'm gonna let you read us out, M-Pad. So Donald Trump is officially the president of the United States for at least the next 4 years, unless he decides to suspend the
Die, hopefully.
Constitution and become a
Oh.
dictator like he said he was going to do. Um, so, or dies.
He is
Um,
old.
like you said, talk about dementia. So, this is just our reality, unless it's not. What because I'm not even gonna hold you. I literally let's just say I had a lot of dark intrusive thoughts today. We'll say that. Okay. So knowing what we know, that this is our reality for the next 4 years, what do we have to look forward to? What can we look forward to? Just to keep us going for the next 4 years.
The next election, I guess.
Or are we
Um,
waiting for the next election? Like, how do we get through the next like days, weeks, and months? Because now we're going into the holidays. I don't have a family where I have to go sit around Trump supporters. First of all, we would have banned
Thank
their ass.
God.
You're not invited to
Literally,
Thanksgiving.
you would have been jumped over Thanksgiving dinner. Like, I'm beating you over the deviled eggs. Period.
No.
Mm-mm-mm.
But a lot of people are going to have to go sit with their family. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot that we're going to have to go through, specifically as Black women.
Yeah.
What can we cling to?
I feel like it's just
Anything? Or
each
we
other,
just
honestly,
still
as like Black women. It's just, I feel like it's time that we just focus on ourselves. Like, we literally break our backs time and time again, and people continue to say fuck us every single time. So I feel like it's just time to literally just love on each other as Black women, take care of our kids, and just fuck them this time because I'm sick of it, honestly. Literally.
What are your thoughts, M-Pad?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I'm kind of
Yeah,
like, I
me
think
too.
Black women should chill, relax if you can. Um, and as far as like cling on to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been telling a lot of people, form your community now.
yeah.
Um, there is a Reddit thread called Child Free Doctors, and it's broken down by each state with doctors
Mhm.
that will still perform, like, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. hmm
Mhm.
and also can give you like permanent birth control, like sterilization and tying
Mhm.
your tubes without a
Mhm.
husband.
Mhm.
Um,
And that's
so
something I definitely want to explore, birth control. We got to remember to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because I think that, I mean, obviously, we think that women should just have the right to make whatever choice that they choose. So if you want to be sterilized, you should be able to. And also, the United States and sterilization, and the world and sterilization have a really, really fucked up background.
Yeah.
So it's a slippery slope, but by choice, absolutely. If you're choosing to, you should not have to talk to nobody about it, bitch.
Mhm.
And
It's
so,
literally my ovaries, like my fallopian tubes.
yes.
Like, what the
and
hell?
yeah, and I've
Um,
been, again, I'm definitely like pro-choice, pro women doing whatever they want. I've been telling a lot of people, like, stop giving these men children. Stop
yeah.
having
Yes.
sex with them. Like, stop.
I've been preaching that for years because they are just so ashy. Their parents did not raise them right at all. And it's
No.
like, you can literally, like, birth is so deadly. You could literally die on the table. When I had my son 8 years ago, I thought I was dying that day, the last day on earth. I didn't die clearly, but it feels like and people are just laying down. They're not being safe. They're having babies by men who don't give a damn. They're not around the kids that they have. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And it's just, I don't understand because the way that I've been dodging pregnancy for 8 years straight, like, I just can't see myself just having a baby just to say I want a baby and then like being a single mom because that's the choice that I made. Like, no. We gotta make better choices. Close that coochie up. We need to use some of the budget for the freaking chastity belts I used to put on people back in the day. We need them. Let's get them in the
Absolutely.
Bring
rotation.
back chastity belt. That's gonna
Yeah.
be the damn title to this episode.
And Plan B has a 4-year life shelf.
I
So
was
if you're
definitely
Yeah.
thinking about that.
so if you're
And
someone
the
that
last thing I need is a plan B, but I definitely was thinking about that.
yeah, so if you have the funds to get
Mm-hmm.
Because
those,
they're already super expensive, but so necessary.
yes, $50 for one pill and you don't even know if it's going to work. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
No, that's
Yeah.
insane.
Although one time I had a little fling with somebody and it was super late. So I like DoorDashed a Plan B and like a Powerade and like a chocolate bar.
Oh,
And it was a guy who delivered it.
that's
And
funny.
I just like had to, because anyone who's had to buy a Plan B, depending on where you go, a lot of times you have to go like get someone and they have to like come unlock it for you.
Yeah.
And so I was just imagining this man going up to the cashier and
Like,
being
I need a
like,
That's
plan B.
funny.
I need a plan B.
I'm crying.
And it
Yeah.
hilarious. That's the perfect note to leave out on tonight. Why don't you go ahead and read us out, M-Pad?
That's a wrap, but the movement marches on. Black Behind the Chair isn't just a show, it's a statement. We're M-Pad and
T Dizzle and Key.
yes, challenging you to be your most authentic, unfiltered self, both in the salon and beyond. Keep shaking the table and breaking the mold. Until next time, power to the curl.
Cheers. All right, and we'll be
Cheers.
back on Sunday. Join us on Sunday. Before you leave, please like, share, follow, subscribe, all that stuff. Interact. Let us know what you're thinking. Like, how are you feeling the day after we found out that Donald Trump is our next president?
I wish
All
you
right,
would stop
talk to you
saying
Sunday.
that.
Love you.
Seriously.
Bye.
Bye.
Right.